Was it rude in your view? Was it disrespectful for President Macron to wink at Catherine, Princess of Wales? 0207 862 2222. Don't switch off because you want to know what Emily Andrews has to say about this. She has very trenchant opinions on manners, you know that, and royalty. The French president was seated next to Kate at the state banquet held in his honour at Windsor Castle earlier this week, and he gave the future queen a cheeky wink as he raised a glass and a toast and said cheers with her. Santé, probably. It certainly caused a stir in some quarters. The Sun newspaper called it lecherous and disrespectful. That's according to the Sun. But I want to know the arbiters of behaviour and manners. So I want to know what you think. Do get in touch. Emily, I mean, would Catherine have been offended, do you think?
No, not at all. And actually, so the Princess of Wales was sitting next to Macron, you know, prime seat. And actually, the president pulled out the chair for her. So before, when they were all standing there waiting for the king, obviously, to go first, and he pulled out the chair, and then Kate sat down, and then he sat down. So actually, he's very gentlemanly beforehand. I mean, I just think this is great. Why not? Who doesn't want to give Kate a wink? I mean, you know, Prince William's winked at me. I took it in the spirit with which it was intended.
Okay, we need to delve more deeply into that. Prince William winked at you. Why?
Oh, well, just very quickly on the protocol, it's fine. There's no protocol. Even the courtiers say when you meet the king or queen, you don't have to bow or curtsy if you don't want to. If you do want to, it's a sign of respect. You can just, there's no protocol.
Excuse me, but it doesn't say if you meet the king or queen, give them a cheery wink.
Well,
does it?
He is a president.
He is a president. He is the head of state.
And how come Prince William winked at you? Go on, you're not going to evade this or avoid it. What happened?
No, well, very quickly, we were on the plane back. We're on the royal tour to Pakistan. The day before, the plane had been struck a couple of times by lightning, so we couldn't land back in Islamabad. We had to make an emergency landing in Lahore. We weren't supposed to stay in Lahore that night. We're on our way back to the UK. Need to make it back in time for the kids, the Cambridge kids, the then Duke and Duchess of Cambridge pick up the kids from school. And William comes to the back of the plane and he says, "Hi, Em. Was it you that I could hear screaming at the back of the plane when I mean, the turbulence was pretty bad.
Was it you?
No, of course not. I
said
said
it was you. It was you.
I said, no, I'm as tough as old boots. You know that. And he said, yeah, you are. But yeah, I mean, I took it.
Did you feel that it was incumbent upon you to wink back? If the king winks first, you must wink or not?
No, he was just being friendly.
I think I've done quite a lot of work with William and Catherine, and they love a bit of cheek.
Yes.
Do they like a wink?
Yeah, I mean, I've never winked, but they like a sort of, William especially likes it's like a sort of slightly naughty joke.
Yes, exactly.
You know?
We always think of you working with Prince Harry.
Well, I've worked with all of them. I'm an equal opportunities royal.
And this is always about mental health.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I worked with William, Catherine and Harry for the Heads Together campaign nearly 10 years ago now. So I've spent time with them all, and they're great fun.
So a cheery wink would be fine.
Oh yeah,
Go over well.
They like a bit of, Catherine likes I think also they spend their time with people being terribly uptight and fusty with them, and so when you have a little bit of fun and treat them like another human, which they are, they love it.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think whenever you meet a member of the royal family, you just treat them as you would another human, with respect. And I think for Macron...
President. This is a head of state.
He's being friendly.
This is a head of state.
Oh, are you going to be stuffy, Cristo?
No, well,
Go on, you take the stuffy.
What I'm
take
going
the
to
stuffy
say
position.
is that actually it was probably the least objectionable thing he did in a disastrous visit where he blamed us for the migrant crisis after taking £700 million of our money and allowing 175,000 people to cross, telling us it's our fault. Spoke French during then his speech and only tiny bits of English when he was in Windsor Castle.
Oh, come
Apparently,
on.
I read somewhere he only...
No, he spoke in English. His English is parfait.
Read somewhere he only wanted to eat French.
Let's go to Maria in Portsmouth. Maria, you didn't like the look of that at all.
I'm only a woman who's about to turn 50, so I'm not old or anything, as I say, turning 50.
Right.
But I found that absolutely appalling.
Why?
You are sat at a banqueting table. You are there as the president. She is there as a princess. She's not there for you to be sitting there winking and all this, that and the other at. You have your wife sat next to you. But do you know what you've all missed? When they got off that plane and got into the country, his wife went to take his arm and he took his arm away from her. So
I think lots of people saw it the other way, Maria, not that way round. They said that she didn't take his arm, not that he took his arm away from her.
No. When she was up the top, she didn't. But when she got down, she went to go and do that, and then he turned away from her.
Oh, Maria, you and I, we need to go for coffee because I absolutely agree with you that it was completely disrespectful. If it was down to me, to the tower with him.
Straight to the tower. Maria, what about what Bryony and actually Emily were both saying? And they've both met the princes and they know them and everything else. And they said that the royal family love it when they're treated as what they are, which is human beings. And, you might wink at your friend, you might wink at a neighbour. It's just kind of human interaction, isn't it?
Vanessa, what she talked about is when she was on a plane privately, there was no one else around.
Right.
We are talking about a banqueting table. We are talking about the world watching you.
Right.
It is inappropriate for him to sit there and wink at the Princess of Wales. She then smiled and being polite back because that's what she does. But his behaviour was appalling.
Yeah, you make a good point, Maria. I mean, we don't know how the princess took it. She might have taken it negatively. I mean, I suspect probably not. I mean, that it wasn't confirmed until right up to the last moment, actually, that she was going to attend the banquet because, of course, we know that, she had a big operation last January. She's had cancer and then chemotherapy. So at the moment, her engagements are still very much kind of, she's a gradual return to work. So you're right to sort of say, I get, and you're right to say that when, Prince William winked at me, it wasn't a private setting. Yeah, there was no cameras there. And perhaps Macron, but I just took it as in the entente cordiale spirit, which he said later. He was just being friendly.
Bryony?
Well, yeah, and also, given that Catherine has had such an awful time over the last couple of years, I think it's, she probably wants a bit of fun.
You see, Maria, I think I'm terribly influenced by my days on the Big Breakfast bed when I was once, this is why I remember it because only once, flown to Paris to get on the bed in Paris with Charles Aznavour. Oh, my God. And of course he winked at me. I'm sure he also gave me a couple of quite hefty pinches and a whole lot of other stuff. And I just thought it was just Gallic and French and absolutely, hypnotique and absolutely seductive and all. And I was absolutely enchanted with the whole thing, Maria. I thought it was marvellous. Is there a possibility that Catherine took it lightheartedly and thought it was just a little bit of French flirtation and enjoyed it? Could that be the case?
Could I just say, you're talking like this. We are talking about a formal dinner.
I know, but what do people do at formal dinners? They talk, they laugh, they joke, they eat.
You don't wink at a married woman at a dinner table with your wife sat next to you.
Oh, I see.
Well, actually, Maria, Brigitte Macron was sat. I mean, it was a huge table. It took 5 days, I think, for the staff to assemble the table in Windsor Castle and then to decorate it. And actually, Brigitte was sat all hidden by all the flowers on the other side. But
He was out of sight while
she
he
was out of sight.
Even
but
worse.
I did just want to say, Maria, that Catherine's got a great sense of humour. We don't often see it as much because she is quite formal. Her public persona is quite formal, but actually she's got a cracking, Bryony will know, she's got a cracking sense of humour, and she's great with the wry eyebrow raise.
I want to go to Jeanette in Hertfordshire. I'll tell you why I'm anxious to talk to her, because she's had a few French boyfriends, I hear. Jeanette, give us the benefit of your expertise here, will you?
It does sound bad, doesn't it? But all in the best possible taste. Oh, hello, Vanessa. You look lovely, and welcome to everyone.
Thank you.
I went out with Eduardo, a French boy who never stopped winking at my mum, my sister, me, in front of my father. My father, fine. It was all out in the open. I then had an Italian boyfriend called Gabriele, who was very hands-on, in the nicest possible way. And I think the people that are, if you get my meaning, the people that are out in the open, it's the quiet ones you've got to watch.
Oh, yeah.
And may I say, Charles Aznavour had great taste.
Gosh, so thank you very much. But so as far as you're concerned, it's just all part of the sort of French way of conversing and making contact, and you wouldn't read anything into it. You wouldn't be offended.
No, I mean, when you go on holiday, it's nice to have some attention, in Italy, in France. It's nice. And I think, quite honestly, it's out in the open. It's not kind of sinister.
Or secretive.
We all
it's
know
true.
it's a culture. It's a quiet one if you've got to watch it. Try and do it when no one's looking. At least he did it in front of millions.
I love the sound of Eduardo.
Yes, I like the sound of Gabrielle. I think they both sound. Jeanette's, at least she's lived a life out there.
Sounds like she's done more for Anglo and European relations.
Equal opportunities and everything else. Jeanette, we'd like to read your life story 100%. As soon as you write it, come on the sofa and tell me all about it. Thank you so much for the call.